G'day guys and welcome to another NRL 2020 season review where we're going to be speaking about the 7th place Newcastle Knights who made their first finals appearance in 7 years. So really big year from these guys, finishing in 7th position. We're going to be getting into this year if it was successful and what to expect next year.
Subscribe to Entertainment. Who's going to win the All-Stars tonight? Yeah, I like to entertain now.
So they may have finished in 7th position, but these guys had an impressive start to the season with a 20-0 win over the Warriors. I'm not sure if at halftime the Warriors were told that they wouldn't have been heading back home. They went into the sheds up 10-0 the Knights. Obviously, this was the game where everything changed because the Warriors weren't heading home, and the Knights, I guess, took advantage of. I would say that they were told, and I feel like that would have changed the game. Maybe the Warriors would have been a little bit more competitive. They came into a game against the West Tigers the following week and smashed them 42-24. Before the following week, a fantastic game where they drew with the Penrith Panthers 14 points to 14. They knocked off the Raiders, massive win 34-18. And let me just say, they dominated that game. The Raiders were not great, but they were still good, and the Knights just blew them out of the water at Campbelltown. Their biggest test was against the Storm at Central Coast Stadium. The Storm were up and down to start the season, but they were too good against the Knights here. Bradman Best had an impressive night for them, but 26 points to the Storm, 12 points to the Knights. There is a vlog on the channel, but it's from a bridge, so... They responded, though, by thumping the Brisbane Broncos at Central Coast Stadium 27 points to 6. I just want to say, this first half of the season, and I guess there wasn't a bad point for him of the season, arguably, one of my favourite players to watch was playing for the Newcastle Knights, and that was Kurt Mann at hooker. He looked dangerous. He was scoring tries, creating some really big plays, so I'm really looking forward to seeing more of him. But then their first shock loss against the Cowboys, 32 points to 20 at Country Bank Stadium. And not to toot my own horn, but I did tip the Cowboys in this game. I thought at home they were going to be a little bit too good. A 12-point win. At halftime, the Cowboys had already basically knocked off the Knights, but they fought back hard to get into it. It was 26-0. So to score 20 unanswered points in the second half was huge for them. But they just couldn't get the job done in the end there. But they did follow this game with an arguably controversial win against the Sea Eagles by a penalty goal, 14 points to 12, beating Manly at Lottoland. A tough contest against the Parramatta Eels at home saw the Knights sunk just by a try, 10 points to 4 in this game. Micah Sevo scoring the match winner there. Andrew McCulloch at this point was off with the Newcastle Knights. I'm just having another look at their team list to see if there were any mid-season changes other than Andrew McCulloch. I don't believe there was. I believe around this point of the season, Aidan Guerra announced his retirement, so this side was starting to get around him and string some wins together. This game was huge, though. They played at the South Sydney Rabbitohs at Bankwest Stadium on the 18th of July. One of my favourite games of football, not only from last year, but that I've personally attended. There was only 4,000 there, but the atmosphere was huge. It was 14-0 to the Knights at halftime, and the Knights won this game 20 points to 18. The Rabbitohs attack was rolling them, especially Damien Cook scoring 2 tries within a 5-minute period. But I mentioned Bradman Best, who was great for them. Kalen Ponga scored a try, and I keep mentioning Kurt Mann was one of my favourite players of 2020 at this halfway point of the season. He looked good, and it was a big win for the Knights. Well, now we get to one of the lows of the season, and I cannot remember the last time. It probably was maybe 6 years ago that the Canterbury Bulldogs did not beat the Newcastle Knights. This team just owns them. 18 points to 12. It was pouring down rain. The Bulldogs were sitting in the bottom 4 all season pretty much. And they just find a way to win against the Newcastle Knights. And this killed them. The following week, they went to a game against the Melbourne Storm. they competed really well at Sunshine Coast Stadium, I thought. They did lose the game, 26 points to 16. Massive game from Aidan Guerra there. He had a really good game, as well as Tino Vasuma Ali. Cameron Smith scored a try in this game as well, which is really interesting. They romped the West Tigers at home, 44 points to 4 in that one. I'm just trying to check if Harry Grant was playing. With the Knights at home, as a team, they can be way too good. They were up by 20 points at halftime, and Moses Mbai was hooker. I was really looking forward to the Newcastle Knights rematch. They'd beaten the Manly Seagulls earlier in the season at Lottoland by 2 points, controversial, but a deserved win here, 26 points to 24 over the Seagulls. The Seagulls were not travelling too well. Definitely in this contest, though, at halftime, 16 points to 12 in favour of the Knights, and the Knights coming away winners in a decent contest, but no revenge for the Seagulls there. One of the most boring shit games of the year that I can remember. This game had nothing about it. Newcastle 12, Cowboys 0. I honestly couldn't pick who was the better side. I guess you could say the Knights, but couldn't pick who was going to win this game. It was shit to watch. The Knights were embarrassed by a really rampant Warriors side at Tamworth, scoring 6 tries to 1, 36 points to 6. But then Kalen Ponga led the Knights to a much-needed win at home, 38 points to 10 over the Sharks. If I'm not mistaken, I believe this was the game with 2 rounds to remain that sealed them inside the top 8. They were playing finals footy for the first time in years. It was a huge win, but unfortunately, it was back to the drawing board as they lost to the Roosters 42 points to 12 in the following week. Round 19, they faced the Dragons. And they came away winners. A really nice win here at home. They seem to be very good at home and the opposite away. Very inconsistent, this team. Newcastle 42, St. George 18. Following week, and this photo on my screen, massive victory here. 5th straight win for the Gold Coast Titans, 36 points to 6. No one, even though they had 4 straight wins, had considered the Knights to lose this game after knocking off the Dragon and just the Sharks. They were knocking off teams by big scorelines, but they were also losing by big scoreline. And this was proven in finals week 1. They faced the Rabbitohs, who finished in 6th position. And they played a game where the Knights were on top for the first half. It was 20 points to 14 in favour of the Rabbitohs towards the end, but it was all Hymel Hunt and Bradman Best to begin the game. The Knights got the lead, but the defence of the Knights was terrible, and the Rabbitohs' attack just ran rampant, and that's why by 26 points, the Newcastle Knights were defeated to end their season. But nonetheless, they made finals footy, so it was successful. Well, let's get into the 2021 season, and Knights fans, you must be frothing at this image. Tyson Frizzell, a huge signing for you guys on a 2-year deal. This is a massive signing in my opinion. This is going to change this side drastically. Blake Green has signed with the Newcastle Knights. Jack Johns has made the trip from South Sydney to Newcastle. Braden Musgrove, I believe that's a fairly new one. That's just come up a few days ago, but it's come up already on the site that I'm looking at. And Sawase Su for the Bulldogs. As regards to your losses, Tim Glasby and Aidan Guerra are now retired. Mason Lino and Sione Matadia. Sione Matadia has been a fantastic player over the year, off to the Super League. And Herman S.A. is off to the Gold Coast Titans. You got Phoenix Crosland, Lachlan Fitzgibbon, Hymel Hunt, Tex Hoy, and Kurt Mann off contract, as well as Mitchell Pearce, who's been really mixed in the media, but that's your team for 2021. So if Newcastle want to make back-to-back finals appearances, let's have a look at their draw. Now, the teams they played twice, the Broncos, the Bulldogs, the Cowboys, the Raiders, the Roosters, Sharks, West Tigers, Titans and Warriors. Now, if we're going off majority of people's opinion, I would argue that the Raiders, the Roosters and the Gold Coast Titans, 3 teams that are expected by a lot of people. I'm not saying this is my prediction, but to make the top 8. That's a pretty good draw for playing twice. You've got some quite soft teams. But then the teams they play once are the Dragons, Eels, Panthers, Rabbitohs, Sea Eagles, and Storm. So you could argue that Eels, Panthers, Rabbitohs. I don't know whether to chuck Sea Eagles in this. So Eels, Panthers, Rabbitohs, Storm. Those 4 teams expected to make the top 8. Sorry, are only playing once against the Knights. So I think the Knights, if they're to do something this year, they have a fantastic draw. I mentioned there's a lot of drama going on in the club, but I think they are in for a good year. Anyway, guys, make sure you do like and subscribe to the channel. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. My next NRL season review will be out very shortly on the South Sydney Rabbitohs. And also, guys, the next installment of Let's Talk Footy is coming out on Monday with our biggest guest, yes, the best ankle tapper in the business, and that is Josh Papali from the Canberra Raiders. I am super excited. I'll be honest, super nervous, but I'm really looking forward to this chat. I can't wait for you all to see it. Make sure you do put the notifications on so that you don't miss this video. It's going to be huge. And make sure you follow Let's Talk Footy _EH on Instagram, where I will be posting some clues and update. I've got at least another 3 episodes of Let's Talk Footy planned. And if you haven't watched the Denning Kemp and Hayes Dunster, make sure you do go and check those out. I'm going to film the Rabbitohs one. See you guys later.